And we are here on what I would normally call a rehab, as you'll see with this yard, but this is actually a normal client. She only calls me about once a month. I've tried to get her to go on more often, but I can only offer what she'll take. As ever, we start out with the edger here. We'll go ahead and edge up and down, up the curb line and down the driveway. It's time to change that blade. I like this trimmer. It has good torque, so it gets me through this thick stuff like this here. I realized as I was watching this back, I could have moved the camera probably about 2 feet to the left and get a better view of what I've got going on here. You're about to catch a whoops moment here. I honestly ran out of fuel in my string trimmer and left my fuel bottle for it in my garage at home. So I'm gonna have to abandon ship on finishing the trimming for now. I'm gonna go ahead and mow the grass because, as you can see, the sky is very gray and there's a storm coming. So I want to make sure I get the grass cut first. This backyard was an absolute jungle. The grass itself is about knee high, maybe about 12 to 18 inches high. And but most of it, especially beyond the field of over there where I am now, is pretty fluffy. So the lawnmower has no issue getting through any of it. Apart from what you will see in a couple of minutes, I'm not terribly worried about debris in this yard because I'm the only one that's cut it for the last 9 months. We'll see that picture I'm taking there? Wait till the end of the video. Despite this grass being very fluffy, well, I won't even call this grass, but despite these weeds being very fluffy, I'm definitely having to go over this twice just to make sure I got a complete cut, and I will, of course, go over it the third time coming back across the yard because of the sheer amount of clippings that are left on the yard. In a perfect world, I would cut this yard every other week, and this would definitely not be a problem. Of course, high maintenance in general keeps the weeds in this manner from taking over a yard. I have offered my services bi-weekly, but she prefers to just call whenever she's ready. Normally, again, as we've discussed in earlier videos, most lawn care people wouldn't take on a task like that continually. But I'm me. I'm going to take on what's needed of me. I kind of wonder if Brad and Simon of Bradley Mowers are watching these videos, because this section right here is probably the best promotion for their mower I have seen yet. What you see me navigating right here in this section is roots. That tree is quite obviously very old, and it's in a historical area of the city, so they don't really cut big trees down like that. So as I get to the section there right around the tree, those knots, those roots and knots coming out of the ground are easily 3 or 4 inches tall, so I have to make sure I don't hit them. Normally I would have gone over that with the weed eater before I got to it with the mower, but as you saw a few minutes ago, my weed eater's out of gas. I need to make sure I get the grass cut before I run around the corner to Lowe's to get more fuel to come back and finish my detail work. Unfortunately, I did all that off camera. Fun fact, that chicken wire jammed up my old weed eater the first time I cut this yard because I did not realize it was there. Generally, again, in how I offer people the services they actually ask me for, I would have, may have, for any other yard, may have called this backyard done and gone on to the front. But looking at the sheer amount of clippings sitting on this yard, I had to go over it one more time to chop them up a little bit more fine. Knowing that a heavy storm was coming in, those finely chopped clippings are just going to go down to the ground rather than sit on top of the grass and smother it or just look ugly drying out like that. You can really see the cleanup of the cut as I go over these clippings one more time. That's just a peeve of mine. I have to make sure that I have that taken care of. While trash is not a problem in this yard, limbs falling off of that tree is. There's a pile over there under the tree that I will eventually take everything to. But in the interest of getting this yard cut before the storm comes in, I had to move. I was nearly running behind that mower as best I could. Here we are, mostly done with the back. Again, I have to run off to Lowe's to get fuel, and I'll be back to finish the trimming around the building and along the fence line. But the mowing is done. That was the important part. Now in the front, you can see I got my edging done there, but nowhere else did I finish my trimming. So we gotta, again, as we discussed, come right back for this. I have offered to trim those bushes for her, as an additional services I offer, but she declined. So she just wants the yard cut. She told me at the time that she would take care of those herself, but I don't think they have since I've been doing this. The front yard was not near as thick as the back, but it's still kind of weedy, so it leaves stragglers as I cut over the first time. So there's not going to be this there's no way I'm getting through this in a single pass. Let's take down those stragglers before we move to the next section. I have to take this front yard down in 3 sections because of how it's shaped given the landscape elements. This one still, I guess, since I didn't turn the camera off to move it, it's just still section 1, but I'm going to keep it moving. And now into section 2 of the front yard. Probably section 1 as it's at the front, but section 2 as far as the order I cut every time. I try as best I can not to blow clippings into the street with a busy street like this. One cut is never enough. I cut the grass until it's done. I cut it until it's cut. Just to note, that wobbly mailbox made me nervous. I think I'm going to fix it next time I come. Again, I've offered to trim these bushes for her as she has declined as an additional service, but I am beginning to think that next time I come out to this yard, I'm just going to do it. I'm not going to charge her extra to do it. I'm just going to do it. So with that said, I have made the decision right here on this spot that you guys will be seeing this yard again. Very small size section. I think it took me less than 2 minutes to cut this whole thing, to just go over it three quick passes. Of course, the neighbor there on that side cut that one stripe into it, so I didn't have to recut that because he had apparently very recently cut the yard on his side. With the mowing done, we'll go ahead and stick the mower on the trailer. This is a very busy street that gets all kinds of traffic. I don't want to leave those clippings in the yard because that is in the street because that is very dangerous for motorcyclists, and I'm very sure there are quite few that come that way. I don't like blowing clippings onto the front yard or onto the conspicuous parts of the yard, so I tend to try to blow it into side yards or behind trash cans or wherever I can get it that's not laying on top of the grass. We are almost done here. You can stay till the end. You'll find a couple of before and after pictures of the front and back prior to me running to Lowe's and grabbing more fuel to finish my detail work, but I got what I could. I did the detail work again off camera just to get the yard done before the storm came in. I had time to finish it all, but I didn't trust that I would and record detail work after the fact. That picture?